Hi, everyone. We're talking about the Holy Spirit this week in our life groups. And the message that I'm talking about is the gift of the Holy Spirit, how the Holy Spirit is a gift to us from God. And so many people are really hesitant to open this gift. But the gift of the Holy Spirit is to do two primary things for us. The Holy Spirit has a lot of roles, but I like to kind of think about it in two big categories. One category is that the Holy Spirit is here to help us be sanctified. Now, sanctified is kind of a, religious word, I guess, that means to be holy, but really what it means is to be set apart for God. And what the Holy Spirit does is he allows us to go from a world of darkness and brokenness and pain and hurt, stinking thinking, and all the other stuff that we've picked up along the way. And we switch from that into who God says we are, into God's truth, into his freedom, into his right thinking, from deception to truth, from foolishness to wisdom, from sickness and disease into health and wholeness. And the Holy Spirit helps us align ourselves with God and come alive. So it's a personal inner working of the Holy Spirit, the presence of God in us and with us, to transform us into who we already are, sons and daughters of God. He is the power that God has given us. The presence of the Holy Spirit is the power to help us be transformed, to help us be different, to help us have a renewed mind, to help us understand the truth, to help us be empowered to live out that truth. I mean, this is an amazing gift that God has given us. So if we will listen to the Holy Spirit, then he will guide us into all truth, and we'll become more like God. We'll become more like Jesus. We will line up with life. We will come out of death and into more and more life in every area of our lives. The Holy Spirit will direct us on how to do finances, how to do relationships, how to do health, how to do attitudes, how to do everything. And so he brings us into a sanctified life, a holy life, a life set apart. You might think, set apart from what? Well, it's set apart from sin. It's set apart from darkness. It's set apart from death. Isn't that awesome? And the other area, major category that I kind of think of the Holy Spirit is the Holy Spirit is in us to do that sanctification stuff, but then he flows through us to do supernatural works of God. So sanctification is internal, but supernatural is the flowing out or the external dynamic of the Holy Spirit. And so our verse that we're memorizing this week is Acts chapter 1, verse 8. I'm just going to read it here. It says, "You will receive power when the Holy Spirit comes upon you, and you will be my witnesses." So Jesus says, stay and get the power from heaven. And when you receive the Holy Spirit, you're going to receive dunamis, dynamite power of God, and it will cause you to be my witness. And how will that the Holy Spirit cause us to be that his witnesses? How will this dunamis or this dynamite power cause us to be a witness? Because it won't just sanctify us and transform our lives, but the Holy Spirit then does supernatural works of power through the willing vessels that we are in God's sight. As we submit and surrender and trust in the Holy Spirit working in our lives, he flows through us and does supernatural works. We're not teaching on the gifts of the Holy Spirit in this very short series on the Holy Spirit, but we probably will later this year. But there's 9 different gifts of the Holy Spirit that Paul lists in Corinthians, and they're working of miracles, faith, words of wisdom, words of knowledge, prophecy, tongues, interpretation of tongues, the distinguishing of spirits. I don't know if I mentioned them all there or not, but those are supernatural gifts from the Holy Spirit through us towards other people. And that helps become a witness that God is real and God is here and God is meeting your needs through the Holy Spirit flowing through me. And so we must be open to both of those aspects of the Holy Spirit. So this week, as we're still discussing and learning and trying to strive to be led by the Holy Spirit and to be filled with the Holy Spirit, let's be mindful of both of these areas. Holy Spirit wants to work in us, transforming us, bringing us more in alignment with God so we can be alive and filled with life. He's also wanting to work through us to the people around us. And the power doesn't come from you. It doesn't come from me. We're just the extension cord. You know, we get plugged in, and then we can be the extension cord where the power can get to someone else. We don't create the power. God's the power. The Holy Spirit's the power. But if we're an extension cord and we're plugged into God, then his power can flow through us and get to someone else. Isn't that awesome? So let God, let the Holy Spirit form you personally, your attitudes, your decisions, you know, what you're dealing with. Let him sanctify you and fill you with life and lead you and guide you into all truth. But also let him flow through you and be his witnesses. It is the power of God flowing through us that is the credibility of the gospel, that God is alive and he's a real God and he's touching people every single time we allow him to through us. So let God touch people through you this week in the Holy Spirit. God bless you in your time together. Thanks for meeting together. We need each other. Keep meeting together. Keep encouraging each other. Keep praying for each other. God bless you.